Hey, 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 what's good, guys? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. We are streaming on LinkedIn and on Facebook. So come on in, say good morning. Let me know how your day is going, how your week is going. And guys, I've got an embarrassing story. But you know what? It's no losses, all lessons. You know how I do. Everything relates back to how to move forward in my brand and how I move. And I want to share this experience with you guys. But if you're catching this for the first time, I want you to come on in and say hello. I am here every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern for Thoughts of a Maven, where we talk about personal branding, mindset, brand positioning, and of course, one of my favorite platforms to help my clients expose and leverage all their brilliance, LinkedIn. But today we're going to talk about a really just crazy, a crazy situation. So let me tell you guys what happened. If you're catching this on a replay, use hashtag replay with your question or comment. I was in the kitchen. You know how you do your happy food dance, right? I'm seasoning my sweet potato. And admittedly so, I probably should have totally disconnected from my work. I was juggling emails, DMs, and honestly, the weight of a million and one to-dos, right? I reached in the cabinet for the cinnamon, sprinkled it like I had that potato right. I had the melted butter, I had the brown sugar, toss it in olive oil, and I go to sit down, and it's a baked sweet potato. You know how you really craving something? I was expecting warm, sweet, cinnamon roasted perfection, but instead, I got a spicy, salty bite with a little bold kick that I did not see coming. Turns out, guys, I did not use cinnamon. I look over and I see a container of Old Bay seasoning, the really big, like restaurant industrial size one. I also had cinnamon in a similar container. I had seasoned my sweet potatoes, folks, with Old Bay seasoning. Yep, seafood seasoning. I mean, I was here with it. I was like, this sweet potato is going to slap. Imma enjoy this. You would have thought I was going to a seafood boil the way I was seasoning that sweet potato, but the flavor was awful. Some people would say it wasn't that awful, Dion, right? Like, what's the big deal? The thing is, it wasn't what I intended. It was just off. It was off. I couldn't figure out why. It took me a while for my to get my brain to catch up with my taste buds. Like, why is this tasting this way, right? I stared at my plate thinking, "No, I can't eat this." And I was so confused and disappointed, but it was really a moment of clarity, right? Because this is what a lot of my clients, when they come to me, have been doing with their personal brands, right? We start with a vision, a flavor. We want to show up clear, confident, connected, but somewhere along the way, we're grabbing the wrong ingredients. We start borrowing strategies that aren't meant for us, right? We mimic voices that don't sound like us. We show up filtered, muted, off brand, and watered down, quite honestly, because that's not what we've been taught is safe, right? And then we wonder why our brand isn't branding, why it's not landing the way it should be. And so, if that's you, you are in the right place, and I want you to get some notes out. I want you to share this video out with somebody who you feel like is doing all the things, but you guys can't seem to figure out what the missing piece is. It is probably your seasoning. So take it from me, folks. Number one, the lesson was slow down, Dion, right? We pride ourselves in being multitaskers, right? Especially if you're a professional Black woman, a wife, a mother, a caregiver. It's okay. I should have totally put my phone to the side, closed my laptop, which was honestly right there on the counter, on the island in the kitchen, and I should have focused on fixing my delicious meal. But like I said, everything's a lesson. And so I'm going to really dig in today and talk about what are the things that you should be doing or stop doing that will make sure that your personal brand is seasoned the right way, that you are showing up on brand. Okay. One of my favorite ways that I help my clients really show up authentically with their personal brand is in my program, It I was gonna say the It Factor, the Brand Brilliance Intensive. This is the ultimate self-paced personal branding course slash community that is designed to help you tap into your secret sauce. Yeah, secret sauce is gonna help you stand out in a crowded marketplace. So if you're tired of blending in, if you're trying to find your flavor when it comes to your brand, attract the right opportunities, clients, partnerships, you have come to the right place. This intensive is not your average course, right? There are pre-recorded modules, but this is a comprehensive program that combines cutting edge personal branding strategies. We have hands on exercises and my guidance that's going to help you really develop a compelling brand that lands well with your brand soulmate and moves you into a better space professionally. So right now enrollment is over if you head on over to workwithdion.com. And also for those who enroll in the Brand Brilliance Intensive in 2025, you will be automatically enrolled into 3 months of complimentary group coaching. So that means yes, you're in there, you're watching the videos, you're implementing, but then we will kick off this fall bi-weekly calls. Bi-weekly calls where you come onto the session and there is no question off limits. The sessions are recorded. You can get hot seat coaching along with your enrollment in the intensive. So make sure you head on over to workwithdion.com. So guys, good morning. Welcome for joining us. I'm just sharing this blooper where I mistakenly seasoned my sweet potato. It was big, y'all. It was a decent size. Man, I melted that butter, had that brown sugar, and I seasoned the mess out of it. I was like, I'm gonna put some cinnamon on this thing, and it was Old Bay seasoning. I had to throw the whole thing out in the trash. It's all good though. But what are the lessons for that, right? What can you do to make sure that your brand isn't off? The second I put that spoon in my mouth, I knew something was off with the seasoning there. So the first thing is to stop borrowing strategies that silence your voice. Just because something works for someone else doesn't mean that it's for you. That strategy was that person's strategy, right? There are people out here selling success blueprints that don't take you into account. And actually, on a recent podcast episode with my sister coaches, shout out to Coach Kofia and Dr. Nicole for the Opportunities Over Obstacle podcast, we were talking about how people want the blueprint, but the strategies are highly individualized, right? It's about your lived experience, your awareness, your goals. It's about your brand, your audience, and your story. So, yeah, that viral content calendar might be cute, but if every caption, when it comes to your messaging, sounds like someone else wrote it, what is the point? What is the point? Your messaging should sound like you. I should I should almost hear your voice when I read your content and your messaging. Okay? That funnel might be optimized to death, but if it strips all the humanity out of your message, it's not doing you any favors. Your brand voice is the main character of your brand. And if the strategy you're using doesn't leave room for your full expression, your truth, your wit, your wisdom, your soul, that's not strategy, that's stifling. Okay, so just embrace the fact that you are unique and you need a strategy for your personal brand that is as unique as you are. Guys, good morning. Thank you for joining the Thoughts of a Maven podcast and live stream. We are streaming on LinkedIn and on Facebook. And I'm talking about these lessons I got because I recently seasoned my food with Old Bay seasoning, thinking that it was cinnamon, and it was off. It was terrible. I couldn't even stomach it, right? Knowing my father, if he were around, he would be like, "Girl, you can fix that. We don't waste food." And I'm like, "No, it's not for me." But yes, stop borrowing strategies that silence your voice. Number 2, stop seasoning your brilliance with someone else's blend, right? You don't have to show up like her to be respected. You don't have to tone it down to be taken seriously. You don't have to shape shift, right, into a version of yourself that's easier for others to digest. You know how we say, let them choke, right? Your brilliance has its own blend. And when you try to sprinkle in other people's spice, whether it's their tone, their brand aesthetic, their way of storytelling, you lose the very thing that makes you magnetic, which is your authenticity. So just know that there's a difference between being inspired by someone and trying to become them. One affirms your power, the other erases it. You were not built to be a duplicate. This is your race, your pace. You don't have to show up like anyone else. This is not about being a cookie cutter copy of the next person. Authentically you, okay? Guys, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. We're talking about that time a few weeks ago when I seasoned my sweet potato with Old Bay seasoning and it tasted off. And it reminds me of how a lot of brilliant, brilliant women are trying to pull from here and there the wrong mixture, the wrong combination of seasonings to infuse into their personal brand, and it just tastes off. Okay. If you're catching this on the replay, use hashtag replay with your question or your comment. Number three, stop diluting your message to make everyone comfortable. One of the biggest personal branding mistakes that I see brilliant Black women making is shrinking the message as to not offend or challenge or ruffle feathers, right? We've been socialized to read the room so well. And there's nothing wrong with reading the room, but don't forget to read yourself, right? We forget to read ourselves. Here's the deal. Your message is not meant to make everyone comfortable. And I'm saying this from firsthand experience as someone who unapologetically states out loud and on my messaging, I work with brilliant Black women. And not only do I call them out, right, by identifying them, but I don't mind stepping on toes. And it's not to um, make people feel bad or to offend, right? But it comes from a place of wanting them to improve. Stop censoring yourself. Your message isn't meant to make everybody comfortable. It's meant to make the right people move, and that's what it's about. It's meant to make them think, feel, act, and to connect with the people you've been waiting I'm sorry, to connect with people who you've been waiting for someone to finally say it out loud. Someone needs to hear what you have to say. There's someone waiting for your message. You are not here to be nice. I'm not saying be a mean girl. You're not here to be nice, neutral, or non threatening. You are here to be clear and aligned and seen. Because when you dilute the message to avoid discomfort, you're diluting your impact, right? And there's a whole, we can do a whole series about us shrinking, the different ways that we shrink, whether it's in our messaging, how we talk about ourselves, how we walk into a room. Do not dilute your message, sis. Okay. Guys, if you're just joining us, welcome to the live stream. We are talking about lessons from um an under or over seasoned sweet potato, seasoned with the wrong thing, which was Old Bay seasoning. Okay, we talked about the 3 things you need to stop doing that are causing you to have an off flavor brand. Okay, you have to go back up to the top and catch that. Guys, if you've been wondering why your brand doesn't quite hit anymore, right? If you're checking all the boxes, following all the rules, posting all the content, and you still feel invisible, you need to check your seasoning, right? You might be serving brilliance, but maybe you're using someone else's recipe. Maybe you're showing up, but in a voice that's not your own. Now, the good news here is that you can fix it, right? You can take the tray out the oven, you can toss the wrong seasoning, and guess what? Start again with ingredients that actually reflect you. I remember when my mom was teaching me how to cook, and I told her like, "Oh, I want to try this recipe, but I'm afraid of messing up." She's like, "It's just food. How are you going to get better?" She's like, "I can't tell you how many times, Dion, I've had to throw out whole pots because the pot was scorched. whole pots and pans of food, and I just had to start again, right? Your essence, your genius, your experience, your voice, the world needs that. Your audience doesn't need another polished persona. We've got enough of people's highlight reels. They need you, the real, full flavored, full bodied, like a hot cup of coffee, bold, brilliant you. And so, if you're ready to re-season your brand so that it finally tastes like you again, I want to talk to you because that's what I do. I've been doing this for 18 years. I help high achieving Black women own their voice, sharpen their message, and show up in a way that's not just strategic, but true, right? No more bland branding, no more muting your magic, just real brilliance served up straight. Okay. And so I invite you to enroll in the Brand Brilliance Intensive, which is my self paced course that you have, by the way, forever access to. In this course, we show you how to develop a clear vision for your business or your career, how to know exactly how to identify your ideal client or employer. I help you develop your unique value proposition, which is what is your secret sauce and how do you communicate it with confidence, ease, and without cringing? Okay, so if you're ready to cultivate a personal brand, a cohesive brand that connects with your audience emotionally, as well as a strong online presence, right? We even touch on LinkedIn in the intensive. I want you to head on over to workwithdion.com. This is a self-paced course, right? You can learn at your own pace because I get it. Life is life and you guys are busy, your schedules are crazy. But whether you are an entrepreneur, freelancer, creative professional, corporate leader, I don't want you to settle for average. So I want to help you become the go-to expert in your field. So head on over to workwithdion.com. And for those who enroll in the intensive in 2025, or actually before fall because the cohort starts in fall, right? You get access to the materials and the resources and the videos right away. But if you enroll before September, you actually get access to 3 months of bi-weekly group coaching live in real time. So for all of those who are in the intensive community, you are getting 3 months of support with your girl. You come onto the call and I'm there answering your questions. You hop on and you get real time coaching and support. But just remember, guys, you are too dope to sit on all that talent. And I want to see you win. And there are people out there who can't get to their next level until you step into your purpose. So I hope this was helpful to somebody. I hope I stepped on some toes a little bit, and I hope to see you inside the intensive. Take care.